Should TikTok be a part of your branding strategy? Today on the Champion Forum podcast, we answer the questions you have been dying to ask as it relates to this social media platform. Welcome back, everyone, to the Champion Forum podcast. Some of you are already skeptical to even continue listening because of the intro. And I get that. I get it. Maybe you're like I was, and you blew off TikTok as simply something for this younger generation. Maybe you've seen it as taboo. I know I was late to the party. There's many of you listening that maybe you haven't even joined the party yet. Well, buckle up, open your mind, and get ready to learn and challenge maybe some of the ways of your thinking, because today on the show, we have the absolute authority on social media and TikTok marketing. Austin Armstrong is a lifelong digital marketer. He's the CEO of Socialty Pro, which is an organic SEO and TikTok full-service marketing agency. He's a speaker. He's absolutely a TikTok expert. He's a podcast host. Go check out his podcast. It's called TikTok Podcast BusinessTok. All thanks to video. After getting his social media start on, you guessed it, MySpace, he has combined for more than 1.1 million followers on his social media platforms and has now posted over 2,500 videos on TikTok alone, tripling his own business and thousands more across his own clients' accounts. He's a Dark Horse Society Award winner, TikTok for Business panel moderator, and has more than 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Here's some fun facts about Austin. He used to be an amateur kickboxer. He's an avid rock climber. And wait, check this one out. He's been to every Disney theme park except for one, which is in Hong Kong. Austin, welcome to the show.
Jeff, it sounds, thank you so much. You're just rattling off my life there. And I'm like, oh, I'm doing okay. I've accomplished a lot of stuff. I'm pretty proud.
I'll tell you what, in your space, you are one of the GOATs. There's no doubt about it.
I'm just having fun.
This topic of social media comes up a lot in my circles, a lot of my clients. Matter of fact, it came up so much that we had you join our executive mastermind group because we had business leaders and entrepreneurs that, we had been talking about it for months, and to TikTok or not to TikTok, that is the question, and all of these things that go around it. So obviously you're a very interesting guy. You have an amazing life, but you're helping and serving a lot of people. But selfishly, I do have a question that I have to have you answer before we go into social media and TikTok questions. You have an uncle that is in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yes. And I'm an avid baseball historian, so I'm dying to know who that is.
Yeah, this is the most interesting thing in the world, the timing of that question. He actually passed away this morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like literally this morning, got the news.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. His name's Bruce Sutter. He was a pitcher on the Cardinals and Cubs in the 80s, won the 86 World Series with the Cardinals. He was the first pitcher to master the split finger fastball.
Yeah.
So anybody that was watching baseball in the 80s probably knows who he is. He was very prolific.
Relief. Oh, yeah. I know the name.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Well, sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Weird timing to ask that question, but yeah.
Man, well, hey, maybe we'll cut that one out, but nonetheless, that's he's left an amazing legacy.
He sure has.
And in his honor, you can get to Hong Kong and hit that 12 out of 12 at Disney. Yeah. Yes. There you go. Well, you were part of the mastermind group. We talked a lot about this subject. We had a lot of people on that call that did see this whole TikTok thing as taboo. And we're going to jump into that stuff. But I'd love to see, before we jump into some of the tactical execution, tell us a little bit about your journey. You have amazing knowledge, but you didn't start where you are. Did you grow up as a kid saying, I'm going to be a social media star? I mean, you tinkered with MySpace, so you're an OG social media person. How did you evolve to get to where you are today?
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. I've been doing this for 17 years. I got started, sort of stumbled into the social media game on MySpace when I was 14 years old, turning 32 in about 4 days, so almost 18 years now. I completely stumbled into it originally. I think I won't go too far back into the MySpace game, but I loved it so much. I just took to gaining large followings of people. So when I was 14, 15, 16, I had several accounts on MySpace with well over 100,000 followers, was making money back then. And I'd always show my mom, like, look, mom, I just got paid $750 today. And she's like, is that illegal? What are you doing? You're 14. and I just got bit by that bug, and sort of, I was fortunate enough to know that this is my calling. This is something that I am passionate about. And this is, as silly as it might sound, this is what I think I was put on this earth to do in the social media game. And so after MySpace, I sort of, I'll be honest, I don't think I recognized at the time that this could be a career path for me.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an in-between phase of not really growing social media presence online for myself or for businesses. But I came back to it again by happenstance about 8 years ago now. So I started as an unpaid intern. So I actually have an untraditional path, which I'll just touch on quickly here. I don't have a college degree. I was a pretty terrible student in high school. I was getting D's in class while I was daydreaming about building websites and growing my following on MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little bit shunned upon at the time, but now in self reflection, I'm like, wow, I should have just ignored all of that and really jumped all in the whole time, because I'd be even further along than I am now.
Yeah.
But, so I took an internship route. I was an unpaid intern at a video marketing agency that specialized in video marketing for the behavioral health space, doctors, psychologists, addiction treatment centers, and the like. And I loved it, worked really hard, became a paid intern, which led to becoming a part-time employee, which led to becoming a full-time employee. My boss at the time is now my business partner. And I've just been doing it every single day for the last 8 years straight since getting into that. And I get more and more motivated every single day. So I've seen a lot of these platforms come and go. And when it came time I was doing stuff on YouTube a little bit, content creation with me in the actual videos. But when TikTok came out, I was like waiting for this platform, because it was so simple for me and so intuitive to just get on there real quick, talk about a concept that I cared about, and just do it all the time. I have unlimited amount of ideas. I've never, 2,500 videos posted. I've never run out of an idea yet.
Wow.
I'm still going.
That is a gift.
The gift of gab, I've been told I had.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot in that. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about social media today and TikTok, but I hope there's some young people listening to this episode. And I'm not hating on education by any stretch, but to think about your story, one thing that really rung in my ears was an unpaid internship. And there's probably young people listening and saying, that guy's crazy, and who would ever do that? Show me the money. Look, this theory goes clear back to Think and Grow Rich, the book by Napoleon Hill, of go tell people you'll work for free to get the experience that you need.
Yes.
And look, you got a great end result. So now it's like we have the white paper, right? But I love what you said about that. And let that be a message to all of us, regardless of age, quite frankly, is, we know the saying of the two best days of your life is the day that you were born and the day that you have figured out why you're here. And Austin, you have figured that out. I mean, go back, listen to the bio and the statistics, Google it for yourself. This is the Tom Brady of TikTok we have on the show today.
Me too, guys.
So it's exciting to watch that journey and to see that level of commitment to get the expertise that you have. And now not only has that helped you grow a brand and build a business, you have an amazing business that helps a ton of people, but now you're able to serve on a global impact to help people create not only their personal brand, but their business brand. And we talked a lot about that in the mastermind, that whether you're an entrepreneur, which is kind of a no-brainer, like you got to have a presence, but even if you're a leader in a corporate situation or a Fortune 500, we're all fighting for our brand. And it matters whether that's to recruit people to your team or to your company, or maybe you're going to jump ship and go to another business. Personal branding, business branding, it all matters. So let's dive in. I mean, I think a great way for us to start the discussion is to maybe do a little bit of myth busting.
Sure.
I think it stands to reason that there are people listening that believe that TikTok is for the younger generation. And, you know, if you're going to be effective on TikTok, then you have to have a good two-step and some fancy dance moves and have all the latest trends of music and hard bumping bass in the background. And we maybe have this perception and this myth. What do you say to those people?
Nothing I will tell you on this podcast will request that you dance. So don't worry about dancing whatsoever. And
well, that's good.
I've never danced on the platform. I've never made a
yet.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see that anyway. We've never made a client dance, and we've done pretty well, I'd say, so far. So I understand where that pushback comes from, and it's a combination of the media talking about that, and when you first open the app. TikTok doesn't know who you are. They don't know what you're interested in. So you have to spend a little bit of time showing it what you're interested in, what you're watching longer than other videos, what you're regularly engaging with, whether you're just watching that video to completion, clicking that little like button on there, leaving a comment, watching a video, and then following that person. They're actually tracking all of these signals so that they can send you better videos that you're interested in. So it takes a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that while you might see a younger demographic creating content on it, that doesn't mean that's who is only on it. There are, I believe, over 140 million monthly active users in the United States alone on TikTok now.
Wow.
So you just statistically think about that. It's not just kids, right? And so how I like to talk about this is that just because you see younger demographics creating content, it's the lurkers. It's the people that are not creating content that are your target business owners.
Wow.
Those are who's going to watch your content. They might not necessarily be creating it, but they're watching the videos. And I'll give a quick example here. I love this channel. I bring this guy up all the time. I think I brought him up in the mastermind as well. His channel is called Real Scott Sims. He talks about Medicare enrollment for 65 plus. And he's got about 140,000 followers on TikTok right now. Wow. All he does is talk about Medicare enrollment for 65 plus. If that doesn't tell you about the opportunity for an older demographic, I don't know what will.
You know what's funny you say about that? This is starting to ring in my own mind because I'm a late adopter. I started tracking my TikTok and I'm not anywhere close to even scratching the surface of what you're doing. I might get like 10 to 15 hits on the like button for a video, but you got to start somewhere. But something I've been doing is as people start following me, I click on their profile to try to find out, like, what are they into? What are they posting? Are they in my own space? Do they do what I do? Or are they a peer? Are they a consumer? I will tell you 9 out of 10 followers I get have yet to post a video, not one. Mm-hmm. And so I don't even know who they are, what they're about, what they're into. So your point about the lurkers, that's probably our consumers.
Exactly.
That is profound. I'm going to keep looking at that. What other myths are out there, Austin, as it relates to TikTok or social media at large, but TikTok primarily? What other myths are out there that you would bust and say, hey, look, don't let this be the thing that holds you back?
Yeah. So the big elephant in the room is that, yes, it's a Chinese owned company. That's the other big pushback point that I get all the time. Yeah, the parent company ByteDance is owned by China. There are entire US operations. A lot of people will just read a Fox News headline and say, oh, this entire app is Chinese propaganda. Come on. Are you really that close-minded? For me, and even if you believe that in your heart and soul, the opportunity so far outweighs any negative consequence, in my opinion, than anything that's going to impact you. And if you're that worried about it, if you're that worried about like data tracking, right? There's, clips of Joe Rogan talking about reading the terms and conditions of the apps in the phone. That's another one too, right? The opportunity is so huge. The organic reach is so much more than any other platform out there. Just get a burner phone. Spend $50, get a crappy phone, an old iPhone, an old Android phone, whatever, and just have that be your TikTok phone. And the only thing you use that phone for is uploading videos so that you can reach potentially millions of people and drastically scale your business. And then you just, turn the phone off and hide it in the drawer or whatever you have to do. Right. That is your opportunity. And if your only pushback points are, oh, that's that Chinese app, I don't even want to support that, you're missing the wave. You're missing the bandwagon because TikTok's not going anywhere. They're only going to get more ingrained. What they're doing to lean into, they're taking into search, they're taking on Google right now. They're opening up, I just saw this headline the other day, they're opening up distribution centers for products purchased through TikTok. So they're taking on Amazon. They are coming after big players. So this is only the beginning.
So they're going brick and mortar.
They're going brick and mortar. They are going aggressive. They're not happy with where they're at, even though they've had all this momentum. So even though we're like 3 years into this thing, it's still early. I was a fairly early adopter. I started in 2019. I've been on the app since, well, I guess it's been out for about 4 years now, but I got started 3 years ago. And I thought I was late at the time, which I think is funny because I heard about it for about a year. I thought I was totally late to the bandwagon, but you're not late. Nobody is late right now. It's still super early. Like they're barely rolling out ads into the platform. This is not a mass adopted ads platform yet, which is the opportunity for marketing. Your competitors are not on this space. So don't worry about any of those potential issues. Just ride this gold rush right now because it's a blue ocean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this does come up. It came up on the mastermind about the Chinese and the terms and conditions. I was at a family function of which it came up and it got a little heated.
Sure.
This was a person that was all in on social media. They agreed that social media was a thing, but over my dead body will I be on TikTok. And they started telling me all these reasons. And I started like buying into it a little bit until the light bulb went off in my head later that day. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not that important. I'm not that interesting. And if whoever knows what I'm doing and tracking and whatever, and then what? Like, I'm not that big of a deal. And so to your point, it's like, is there risk? Yes. There's also risk driving your car across town, but we make the decision every day to get in the car and drive. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get DMs and emails about things I don't know and conspiracy theories and all of this other stuff. But hear what Austin is saying, because at some point you got to make a decision. Am I getting on board? Am I not getting on board? I'm not here to tell you what to do. Maybe I'm misinformed, but that's what we're here to do on this show, is to educate and get you thinking a little bit differently. So
can Austin, I throw another? Yeah,
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
I just want to throw in one more caveat into there because this is another thing that I've gotten as an agency owner. Not to pitch anybody in general, it doesn't have to be us, it can be anybody. But we literally have clients that don't have TikTok on their phones. So we're a full management agency, which basically our value prop is you be the expert that you are, and you handle the we'll handle the rest, right? So if you're that concerned, but you want to seize the opportunity and you're like, I will not download this on my phone over my dead body. Well, you can hire an agency like mine and just send us, videos. We'll edit them and we'll post them on your TikTok for you. Cause this isn't something I'm worried about. So you don't even need to download the app if you don't want to. We'll handle it for you.
There are solutions to this problem is what we're hearing, right? I mean, the burner phone is a great idea, actually. I'm thinking about that actually for multiple reasons as you're saying it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need another person DMing me something stupid again, right? So that there could be many benefits of a burner phone.
Yeah.
So you obviously you're big into YouTube. They heard the stats with the bio, but TikTok has really been a main focus of yours, by way of marketing, by way of your own business. So let's talk about that. Like, we got to implement potentially this TikTok strategy. Why not Instagram? Why not Snapchat? What's so special about TikTok that we can't leverage or find on these other platforms?
Well, I think it's not necessarily or.
Okay.
Um, and this is a time allocation thing. Of course, we're all busy professionals. The organic reach and the culture on TikTok, I think, is just so different from any other platform out there right now. Instagram's been around for 15 years. YouTube's been around for like 17, 18 years at this point. Facebook's been around for even longer than that. All of these platforms were saturated and they were stagnant for years until TikTok rolled out and sort of forced the hand and of all of these other platforms. I don't know if anybody can remember back 4 years ago before TikTok, it was kind of boring because it'd been a lot of the same thing across social media for years. There was no real significant innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And so just going back to it, like it is the most organic reach of any platform right now by far. Just by simply having a content strategy of knowing exactly who your target audience is, knowing the pain points and the emotional needs, desires of your target audience, and creating consistent content addressing those emotional aspects to your target audience, you're going to win right now because most businesses, most individuals are just not creating content on the platform right now. Now, I will say as well, my attention shifts a lot of the individual platform because all of these other platforms are now trying to catch up and play defense against TikTok. TikTok is so aggressive right now, and the opportunity is so big that all of these other platforms rolled out TikTok competitors. YouTube has YouTube Shorts, Instagram has Instagram Reels, Facebook has Facebook Reels right now. Every platform supports vertical video, and I would challenge everybody to sort of break that that illusion mirror in your head and start looking at your television screen. Start, when you're going to the train station or the airport, pay attention to the monitors and the TV. Everything is switching to vertical video. When you have that lens, you're going to think like, this is the new format. It's not horizontal anymore. And I can get into some of the psychological reasons on why that's the case if you want. But you can have a TikTok first strategy, or you can just have a vertical video strategy right now and upload that same video onto TikTok, onto Instagram Reels, onto YouTube Shorts, onto Facebook Reels, onto LinkedIn, onto your Google business page, onto Twitter, onto Snapchat. The same video across the board. That wasn't the case 5 years ago, but it's working right now because everybody's playing catch up with TikTok. In my opinion, like I've been in the space for 17 years, almost 18 years. It's never been easier to grow on social media than right now. So we're in this little bubble of time. And that's the opportunity.
When you're talking about vertical, just to back up,
Sure.
can you define that for the one that's like, I don't even know what TikTok is. I got to figure it out. When you say vertical, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so a traditional YouTube video or a television video is a horizontal video, 1920 by 1080, right? That's a traditional resolution. Just flip it. It's just vertical on your phone. It's flipped that. So instead of 1920 by
The
1080,
name says it all.
yeah, 1080 by 1920.
And people are consuming that more. And I'm assuming it's because, I mean, our smartphones are built this way. The screen's bigger, vertical, all these other things, right? And so I think that says something to, like, maybe you're dabbling in social media right now. Like, take note of what Austin is saying. This could be a thing that could help you grow your social media presence. The worst thing is, like, when you see an Instagram reel horizontal, because then guilty is charged, by the way. Like, I'm a mess when it comes to social media, but I'm consistent. I will say that we're figuring it out, which maybe selfishly is why you're on the show today, Austin. But
no problem. I'm a podcast host too. I know how it is. We gotta
exactly.
we gotta get those deep questions.
So all right, we now know why TikTok. It's the fastest growing. It's the easiest way to get more organic reach. So, all right, we might have some listeners that are contemplating moving forward with this. Yeah. Maybe we do have people that are where I'm at, which it's like, all right, I've heard it enough. Let's get it out there. Let's just create the account. Let's see what happens. How do we begin sharing on TikTok? Like, what are some practical tips that you can give us? How do we start figuring out what our strategy should be? Should we target certain keywords? Should we just start telling our story? Should we answer questions? What are some ideas that you have, knowing there's multiple types of people listening, multiple industries?
Absolutely. There's so much information that I can give here. I think the best place to start is to just observe for a week. Just spend a week in the app, scroll, train the algorithm to show it what you're interested in, dabble around with the features, search for things, whatever you're interested in professionally or just a hobby or whatnot. So you can learn what works. You can learn the cadence, pay attention to how they're opening the videos, how the functionality goes, pay attention, have that internal dialogue of, why did I watch this video and why did I watch it until completion? And that's advice that I've been telling everybody is just learn the platform. Don't go in cold, learn it a little bit so you have a better understanding. When it comes time to creating a content strategy, I have a process that I call quantifying your expertise. And this is basically mind mapping, but come up with 3 or 4 categories that you're able to consistently talk about. Broad categories. These could be the services that you offer. These could be pain points of why a customer comes to you, frequently asked questions that you get on a daily basis. Or you can use a free keyword research tool like AnswerSocrates.com is one that I really like. And what that tool does is basically you just type something into your industry like psychology, and it's going to show you a list of hundreds of questions, prepositions, comparisons, etc., of people, of things that people are actively typing into Google and other search engines. TikTok is a search engine. I've been saying this for years. Social media platforms are search engines. People are just looking for information a little bit differently. And this is really at the forefront right now because TikTok is aggressively saying, we are a search engine. In fact, they're the preferred search engine of Gen Z, and it's becoming more adopted. I won't go down a tangent on that.
Tell us again that Socrates. What was that? Socrates?
AnswerSocrates.com.
AnswerSocrates.com. Yeah. We're going to put that in the show notes. That could be a game changer.
Great free tool. It'll give you a year's worth of content ideas. Okay. No cost, no sign up needed, nothing. Amazing tool. When you're first getting started, dedicate the first 30 days to creating a video every single day. And you can batch it, which is just taking 1 day a week and creating 7 videos or however much you want, but get in the habit of publishing 1 video every single day. because it's going to build up that content muscle for you, and it's going to help you fail faster. So it's going to help you learn what your audience is interested in and what they're not interested in, because this is very much a momentum game. So if you have this like mind map out there, right? Like do this in a spreadsheet. So you have category 1, category 2, category 3, and like just list information, right? Give you a quick example. One of our clients is a therapist. He can talk about couples counseling. He can talk about depression. He can talk about anxiety, and he can talk about narcissism. And so under each one of these categories, we have tons of questions under there. Like, what are the signs of depression? What can you do to overcome depression? What are the red flags of a narcissist? How do you know if you're being gaslit by a narcissist, right? Break them down into individual questions or pain points associated with that thing, and then go through each one. So day 1, go do a video in category A. Day 2, do a category in video, or do a video in category 2, and etc. And so this is going to give you a systematic approach of going through it. And after that 30 days, you're going to start to get questions in the comment section from other people. Do a video response to every single one that you can. That's a feature on TikTok, the ability to not just like write a response to that comment, but to do a video response. So their question pops up on your screen, on your video, and you can just record yourself answering that question in 30 seconds.
Meaning if they have a question in the comments, you can answer it with a new video.
With a new video, it links back to the comment, it links back to the original video. This is an amazing way to build trust and rapport with your audience and just deliver value. The thing I always try and drill home is that it's never about you, and it's always about the audience. There's not enough time to introduce yourself and introduce the topic at hand. Just get into it. Just provide incredible free value. Give all of your best information away for free, and you will not believe how much of an ROI that you'll get on that.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And I'm thinking about like different expertise. I'm thinking about, and I might be stereotyping the demographic of our listener a little bit here, but if I were to guess, I would say that the highest percentage of the demographic of the listener of the Champion Forum podcast spends most of their social media time on LinkedIn. They're there recruiting, they're there, building their brand. Matter of fact, I would say there's probably a lot of people listening that would say Instagram and Facebook are the killer of productivity, right? So sure, if I'm the LinkedIn guru and I'm posting job openings and, features and community outreach events that we're doing, is TikTok for that person?
Yeah, absolutely. I have another case study example for you. Rob Cancilla, Cancilla. He is a job recruiter on LinkedIn. He's a LinkedIn expert. He helps optimize people's profiles. He does career job placements, the whole 9 yards. His entire TikTok channel is about that. Career advice, auditing resumes, auditing LinkedIn profiles. He's amazing. I know the guy, super cool. 100% yes.
Man, this is opening a whole new world. And I've watched your content quite a bit.
Thank you.
1, to learn how to get better at it, but 2, to see your style of delivery. And one of the things that I've learned from your content is you're always thinking about the viewer. Like, I love how, like, you just did the Socrates.com. And here I am, and Brad's writing notes, and it's just so much value add. And, you do the website of the day sometimes, and go check out this website, and this is what it can do. And it's very applicable to the people that follow you. And I think that's what I've tried to learn as well, is where is the problem that I can solve? And can I do that in a 30, 60-second video, whatever it might be? Which is a good segue into this question, which comes up a lot. How long should my video be? Should it be a 15-second cut? Is it a 90-second to add more sizzle and to the messaging? Is 30 seconds the sweet spot? What is the sweet spot for a video?
As long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. Okay. is the right answer. I like to, structure it in a bullet pointed fashion. So open that video up with a really powerful opening hook to stop that scroll, because the attention span is like worse than a goldfish on TikTok, like literally worse. Bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3, and then tell them what to do next, a single call to action. That's a great structure. I wouldn't go too deep on any one topic. Just break it down, because people will get bored, right? So like if one video you intuitively just cover like 3 topics, can you just talk about one of them and turn that, what you thought was going to be one video into 3 separate videos? It's a little bit of a skill. I understand how difficult it can be to compress complex pieces of information into a 30-second video. It sounds like a very daunting task. But if you structure it like that, headline is your opening hook, bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3, bullet point 4 if needed, and then a single call to action, like, share this with yourself so you can take action on it later, or send this to somebody who really needs these LinkedIn tips, or, follow to master your recruitment journey, creating intent behind the call to action, rather than just saying, smash that heart, follow for more, leave a comment, tag 10 friends, right? They're not going to do any of it. But if you create intent behind one call to action, you're much more likely to get that thing done. So that's how I would structure it. I mean, I've anecdotally noticed, like if in that 30 to 45 second mark, if you can hold their attention for the duration of that, that will trigger potential virality if you get a lot of engagement. The thing that they care about most is that video completion rate and average view duration. So above all other things, just hold their attention. So that's why it really needs to be as fast paced and as short as possible, but don't skimp on the value either.
So behind the scenes, TikTok is viewing, like, are people mopping what you're spilling, and should I keep pushing people to you?
Oh, totally. And you'll see this in the analytics too. Like they give you audience retention graphs on the video, so you can see where people dip off.
This is probably more vulnerable than anybody wants me to get on this show, because it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm just going to be honest, and hopefully it helps somebody.
Yeah.
Have you seen these? I'm sure you have, Austin. These videos where these people make this dumb thing out of like an igloo cooler, and this guy's like cutting a hole in the top, and he's putting like these pool noodles in it, and then he dumps ice in it, and then the next step is he installs this fan and he plugs it in, and what he just created was this like makeshift air conditioner for poolside. And here I am watching this guy cut into this igloo cooler, and it's like irrelevant to anything in my life, but the only reason I keep watching is I just want to see what he's going to do next.
Exactly.
How do we incorporate that into our own strategy?
Yeah, so storytelling elements, good elements of like the hero's journey, and like sometimes teasing the ending. So if you can like show the final product at the very beginning of that video, and then just kind of like rewind and show how you got to that point, that can hold attention as well. But anything that in general, like you want to cause intrigue at the beginning of that video, and then you want to show the progression of that final payoff, right? Mm-hmm. And so in this example that you brought up, like he's got all these weird, wacky items, and you're like, what the heck is this guy going to do with this thing, right? And so he takes you along, and maybe it's sped up. And I've probably seen similar videos. I don't know if I've seen the exact same video as you. I've seen people make makeshift air conditioners like that before. But that's essentially the thing. And like, I have seen other videos that just captivate me like this. Like they'll open a video up it'll be a restaurant, and they're like, we had to open the floorboards, and we discovered an old safe in the bottom of it, right? And they pull the safe up, and they're like, now we're going to try and drill into it, and we're going to see what's inside. And now I'm captivated in the viewer because I want to know what's inside this old safe as well. And it takes them, because it's super hard to open a safe, right? So they're like, sanding it down, and they have the saw, and they're trying to saw the thing open. And the real jerks will make it a part 2 video. So you have to like come back tomorrow. It's like, no, just give me the dang payoff. So, but it works. And the reason they turned it into a part 2 is because just from an algorithmic perspective, it works. Like, you've hooked their attention. It's the same thing with like episodic TV, right? It's the same concept. It's like, you have to come back next week.
Cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, cliffhanger at the end. You have to I have to come back next week to see what happens. It's that same concept. Storytelling is literally ingrained in our DNA. So if you can figure out how you can incorporate those elements, you're going to drastically increase your watch time, and it's going to skyrocket everything that you do. And that's not just for TikTok. That's marketing in general.
Oh, there's no question. And I'm sure there are people listening that was like I am sometimes, because sometimes like listening to a guy like you, Austin, is a bittersweet. It's like, oh my gosh, I just learned so much, but how am I ever going to do all the stuff that Austin is saying to do? It just seems so daunting. And I think it's like the old analogy of how you get to the top of a mountain. You just take a step. I mean, you said it earlier, like just be consistent for 30 days. You can be consistently horrible. You're going to learn something from those 30 days, but the whole point is get going. And speaking of intimidating, I mean, here you are, you got all the accolades, you got all the awards, you have viral videos, you have all the things that we all would love to have. And so surely it's because you have all the right lighting and you have perfect cameras and all this stuff. What do you say to the person that's just, they're holding the good old smartphone in their hand and that's all they got? Can I do it with just that simple of equipment?
Anybody that watches my videos knows how simple they are. It's just selfie mode on my face. I flip the camera around and just hold it in front of my computer screen, and then I flip it back around to selfie mode. I have lighting set up. This is more for YouTube than TikTok itself. That was part of the benefit of TikTok, that it was raw, it was simple, it was come as you are and just tell a story. And that's why it was so addicting. I've had a lot of successes, and it's because of that consistency over time. I hate the idea that anybody would think of me as an overnight success, because I've been doing this for 17 years straight, basically, maybe eight years straight, but every day for 8 years straight. And most people will beat my timeline if you just do it every single day and focus on improving 1% every single day. Last week, I was speaking at a conference, Video Marketing World, a conference that means a lot to me, because I was at that conference 4 years earlier. I was still a full-time employee at another company. And one of the concepts that they brought up at the conference was everybody, or most people in this crowd are dreamers, and the ones that are on the stage are doers. And that resonated so heavily with me, because I sat in that audience that first year at the back of the room as a dreamer, just learning and admiring all of the people on stage. But I got started and I sucked at the beginning, but I kept going and I kept improving, and I kept improving on one little thing at a time. You don't have to have the perfect lights. You don't have to have all of the offers. You don't have to have your messaging perfect. All of these are self-limiting beliefs to just get started. Just open that phone and record, even if it sucks, because you're doing what 99% of people will never do, because they're only dreaming of doing it. And the more that you do that every single day, the closer you get to exactly where you want to be.
That's so good. Isn't it amazing, listener, that, I mean, we've had some amazing people on this show, Austin being one of them. And it doesn't matter if you are a Navy SEAL commander or a viral video maker or a 5-time best-selling author. The success leaves a trail. So thank you for defining what that means and encouraging us this way. It is so true. I stink at video. I'm not good in front of people. That's a self-limiting belief. Is your success more important than the pain of doing it? And until that happens, you're probably not going to push through. So one thing I wanted to ask too, hopefully it is something the listener wanted to hear. We got we got Facebook, we got YouTube, we've got Instagram, we've got Snapchat. I don't know if we're still on MySpace. Lord help us if we are. We have TikTok. How, there's so much going on, and you said it's not and or, it's kind of both. How can we repurpose our content, specifically those stinking TikTok watermarks that are the bane of my existence? Like we see it on Instagram, like a repurposed TikTok video, and you got that TikTok watermark floating all around the video. Like, how do we repurpose content?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. I'm going to give you the preferred but more time consuming way, and then a workaround way. Ideally, you want to remove that TikTok watermark, because Instagram in particular has said we are actively working towards deprioritizing repurposed content, i.e. TikTok videos. Instagram wants original content. All of these platforms want original content. So the reason behind removing the watermark is so that it looks like original content, because they're actually tracking those watermarks. And even if you see a video that does well and has that watermark on it, that's and most of the time an anomaly, not the normal. And they're actively working towards removing that success altogether. So if you don't want a steep drop off in views, one day and you're like, what the heck happened? Just get ahead of the game. The easiest way to download your TikTok videos watermark free is a website called snaptik.com. You just copy the URL of your TikTok video, paste it in there, download it, removes the watermark. Then I recommend, if you have the time, to upload it natively, manually, onto each of these platforms. My anecdotal evidence from managing about 15 accounts for various businesses currently, and hundreds of other accounts, is that the platforms prefer you to upload natively rather than using a repurposing software, a tool that automates this entire process, a social media scheduler. So if you have the time, and this takes, once you get in the hang of this will take you an additional 15 minutes per day to do this process. That's about how long it takes us. Maybe it'll take you a little bit longer at the beginning. Once you get the flow down, it's muscle memory. We do this, 10 times a day, every single day. I could do this in my sleep right now. If you don't want to do that, I would still recommend, getting it out there however you can, because some views are better than zero views, right? So even if it's bringing it down a little bit, like algorithmically, it's still better than not reaching anyone, right?
Yeah.
So there's a wonderful website called repurpose.io. And what this tool does is you link up all of your social media accounts to it, and it's a back-end automation software. Wow. So you can just post once to TikTok, and it will automatically remove the watermark and post it automatically to whatever other platform you have linked up. So it can post it to Facebook, it can post it to YouTube, it can post it to Instagram, it can post it to LinkedIn, it can post it to Pinterest, wherever you want it to go.
Wow.
Just post it once and it handles the rest for you.
Beautiful.
Amazing tool. So those are a couple different options.
Man, that is good. That's going to save some people a lot of headaches, including myself.
Sure.
So what about hashtags? There's a million articles and a million opinions. Hashtag, not hashtag. Facebook hates hashtag. This likes hashtag. But if you're going to use hashtag, it's got to be this many hashtags. And if it's over 4 hashtags, the algorithm's not going to like it. And so what say you, Austin? Hashtags, what are we doing?
I am so adjusting on the fly with hashtags that I don't even have a concrete answer for you, because I think I am just going with the flow of what I notice. So I personally don't use hashtags on TikTok at all anymore, but I sort of think that's because TikTok knows who my audience is already. They know who's interested in my content. And I think they're more interested in playing the SEO game anyway right now. So they just expanded the description box on every video to 2,200 characters. So that's saying like, write a keyword rich descriptive description of what your video is about. And that's likely pretty good. If you want to use hashtags, I would say like 3 to 5 tops, really specific. Don't use any of those hashtags like FYP, for you page. Like they don't do anything. It's too general. Go really specific with hashtags of what your video is about. Instagram, I am constantly testing full set of 30, 4 to 5, which I think is what they are currently telling us, and 0. For me, it's 0 hashtags. Pretty much the majority of my social media, I don't use any hashtags anymore because I think the platforms are just smart enough to know who to serve my content to. And a lot of that is consistency, right? Because I'm just creating a lot of, similar subject material over and over again. They know who's interested in it and they send it to those people. You got to test on Facebook. I will say, because specifically Facebook Reels, I've had success with 4 very specific hashtags. So I'll use 4 hashtags for Facebook Reels. And that's really the only platform that I actively use hashtags on. But like some of our
Facebook post,
but not a Facebook post. No.
Yeah. So
Just
here we
Facebook
are.
Reels.
Like, here it is. It's like maddening. Some people have said, I give up. I can't do it. I mean,
know.
Look, it's a trial and error. And to Austin's earlier point, before you give up and say, well, Facebook Reels, but not this, but then that, we feel like we're in 5th grade English. It's like I before E. And it's like, here's the reality is get the content out there.
Yeah.
5 views is better than 0 views. You can go follow Austin and his podcast and incrementally get better. For most of us out here, Austin, as you well know, social media is not our business. My business is leadership development, business consulting, sales strategies. I don't have time to be a social media expert, but we can all get a little bit better, because what's important to all of us is marketing, our companies. And for those of us that are working for the man, we gotta build our personal brand. So why not, in the day that we live in, at least incrementally get better? Now, you mentioned, we talked about hashtags, but you kind of answered another question maybe, which was the description of the video that you're posting and how these platforms will pick up on these words. So did I hear you say that the description of your video and specific keywords you put in the description might even be more important than the hashtag itself?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think all of these platforms are going towards right now. And so like, even what I said, and like, I'm still confused about hashtags because they're constantly changing what's working and what's not. There is no solid answer for that. I think it's very much account based, right? And that's why everything's all over the place, because somebody can, say what's working for them, but it doesn't work for another person because their account is on a totally different subject matter. So don't worry about don't get caught up in the weeds in any of this stuff. Just as you were saying, Jeff, like just focus on creating the best content that you can and improve your messaging to resonate better with your audience. Videos go viral every single day that have 0 hashtags in it. Don't worry about that. It's just the messaging. Just focus on the video and staying consistent. Now, with these descriptions, yes, I would definitely add as much in-depth descriptions as possible of what your video is about, especially on TikTok right now, because they're pushing so heavy in the SEO space, with TikTok being a search engine. I think it's just going to be beneficial to all of us in the long run to just create, searchable content.
Great advice. So we might have listeners that are like, man, I need to hear this guy more often. We may have listeners that say, I'm out. I give up. I'm throwing up the white flag. I need somebody like Austin to come in and do it for me. How do we follow you on social media? How do we learn more about your company? Tell us a little bit. What's the best ways? I'm assuming we should start following you on TikTok if we're not, right? But what are some ways that we should contact you? How can we get to you?
Yeah, whatever your preferred social media is, I'm everywhere at Socialty Pro. So you'll find me across the board. That's also my website, socialtypro.com. You'll find me on LinkedIn at Austin Armstrong as well. I don't want to give you too many options, just whatever your preferred platform is. Definitely, if you want to continue to deep dive down the TikTok bandwagon, check out my podcast, BusinessTok. That's Business TOK, because I interview real business owners in every industry that are leveraging TikTok to grow their businesses as well. So you can hear from other people, not just myself.
That's good. And we will put all of Austin's main ways to contact him, his website, his podcast, all of that will be in the show notes, which if you aren't getting those dropped directly into your inbox every week, go sign up for the newsletter. We'll drop them in there. And that way you don't got to go search them out. And we'll have all of that easy. We will also add to the show notes some of those websites that Austin referenced that could help save you a lot of time in creating content and getting rid of those godforsaken TikTok watermarks. So Austin, any final words before we cut loose for this episode?
Just get started and give it 30 days of consistency.
There you have it. Well, very good. Austin, really, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you investing into the Champion Forum Nation. Listener, listen, hey, keep pushing your brand. Embrace change and never forget that you all have been set up to be champions in this life.